Rafael Correa was the president of Ecuador just before, during the time that Julian Assange was granted citizenship and granted asylum. Part of the reason he did this, I suspect, maybe to put a thumb in the eye of the Western powers and imperial forces, but also to flex the muscle of Ecuador. We are a nation like any other nation, and like any other nation, we can give someone asylum, especially when that person requires it. This video is experiencing a lot of lag, but it'll be okay at the end, and I'll upload the regular video. I'm not going to keep this one long. There's been a movement in Ecuador to strip Julian Assange of his citizenship, and that movement apparently has gained a certain degree of steam. And mind you, that movement is entirely backed by politicians that are in alignment with the United States, that are perfectly okay with being under the thumb of another power. You can even make the case that it's slightly treasonous. In this case, the state attorney of Ecuador has come out and has given this proclamation during an interview. I'm going to tell you what it is. So let's go to it. And like I said, I'm going to keep this one relatively short. Assange has only two options, according to the Attorney General of the state of Ecuador. Ingo Salvador, Attorney General of the state, said that his state cannot give asylum to a fellow citizen. But what happens in this case is Julian Assange, originality of the Australian nationality, asks for asylum protected in a nationality, then the previous government, looking to subterfuge to solve the problem, decided to grant him nationality by naturalization. That's an explanation. Yeah, that's a fair explanation of what's in place. Essentially, tumble into this weird case where they gave asylum to their own citizen. Understand how weird that is. And he's right about this. This is kind of bizarre. An American citizen getting asylum from America. What are you getting asylum from in your own country? It's a little weird. But they ended in this because they were trying to protect Assange, and they thought nationality would be the thing to do it. So fair enough. As the subterfuge did not work, we have the legal anomaly of an Ecuadorian citizen who enjoys asylum in Ecuador. Assange has only two options. The first is to surrender to British justice. It's not justice. It's just British authorities. Justice is something else. He's been in prison for the past, 7 years now, and even kept incommunicado for longer, for 6 months. That's not justice. That's something else. He can surrender to British authorities that is giving guarantees my ass, whatever, guarantees. He was given guarantees that he would not be extradited to a third country where there is a death penalty and stay up to 6 months in jail for having violated his bail. In the second case, Assange, if it respects the protocols of coexistence in the embassy of Ecuador, may stay indefinitely. Essentially, you can shut up and just stay in your cage, or you can go to jail. Your choice. Those are your only two options. Fact of the matter is, justice has nothing to do with any of this. This is everything to do with a power that doesn't necessarily like the shadows or the things that takes place in the shadows being exposed to the light of day, and the population knowing what goes on behind the scenes. The problem is that Hillary Clinton lost the election. And it's not even just Hillary Clinton lost the election, because at this point, Donald Trump and Mike Pompeo has considered him a foreign enemy of the state. This has nothing to do with justice. Nothing to do with justice. Look, there's always a wait. There's no magical door. I don't want to bring up this thing of politics from the standpoint of the Democratic Party, but the Sam Cedar argument that the practical choice is Hillary Clinton, when you have people who are in dirt poverty, who are living in horrendous conditions and who are sick of status quo, and those people say, we want something else. But the soothing practicality of a Clinton is awesome. There's no magical door. There's always a lift. When Martin Luther King gets dragged in with dogs biting at him and all this other stuff, and he makes the point of, this is what I must bear for my people to be to some degree of free, he's right. Unfortunately, the shitty things that happen in our society, in our world, it's like a dirty room, and that dirty room gets cleaned, and in the process of being clean, it gets dirtier. There's no magical door. The information that Assange released embarrassed and further delegitimized the established order of things. And in doing so, that established order is biting back. Let's be very clear. This is not justice. This has nothing to do with justice. This is nowhere near justice. This is just power taking out an assault on the powerless. In this case, WikiLeaks. Fortunately, WikiLeaks still does what it does. And whether Julian Assange is in that box or not, and even though he's taken that lift to some degree for all of us, exposing the stuff to the light of day, I guess I take issue with this idea that this is justice. This is a foreign power doing what power does. It doesn't like their secrets exposed to the light of day, and they're taking it out on him. Two options. Shut up and stay in your box, or go to jail. Those are the options that the Attorney General of Ecuador is given. If a new political class comes in force, and that political class is more like Rafael Correa, that has this idea of Ecuadorian sovereignty and doesn't like this idea of imperial power, even used in the term imperial powers, then maybe Julian Assange has a different option. But right now, this is what he's being given. Don't have to like it. It's just what it is. Just reporting on it. Yeah, just reporting on it. All right, guys. If you enjoy the content, please feel free to share, like, subscribe. You can always support through Patreon. Notice when it's fast, but I'm getting a lot of buffering. There's no soothing practicality of Clintons. Agreed, Balthazar. And Wesley Walker, what's happening? Mike S., hello. All right, guys. I'll see you in a few.